waiting for the signal. Oh, there you go. I think we're live. We are live. Oh, wow, it got me dancing. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Let me switch over to the stage chat. Hi, everyone. So here's a multi-con panel again with lots of us. Do we want to go around and introduce ourselves? Mm-hmm. Not start with me because everyone's sick of my voice.
I'm not sick of your voice.
Who wants to start?
I choose Jamis.
Oh, okay. Usual business, all right, I got it. So, hello everyone, I'm James. I'm chairman of Czech Bestiaria Convention in Prague, in Czech Republic. And yeah, I'm pretty glad to be here. These interesting times where we can meet just these online platforms instead of meeting in real life. So that's short introduction from me.
Should I go next?
Go for it.
Go for it. Go.
I'm Perry. I am the host and MC of GalaCon. I'm one of the founding staff members and was a staff member the first 3 years as well. But I stopped doing that, but I am still around because I don't think they could get rid of me if they tried. So I still do auctions and I still travel, when COVID doesn't happen, at least, places to sell people things and hopefully entertain them. Thank you.
Hypno?
I think it's over to me. Hello, I'm Hypno, who's long-time conchair of a variety of conventions, but at the moment, Griffish Isles, the Manchester Pony Convention. But I'm incredibly amateurish, as you can tell at the moment from backgrounds in Zoom.
I think it looks great. Like, I have a radiator and a sofa and a mound of plushies behind me, but I'm gone for comfort this time round.
Plushie's good.
Mound of plushies solves everything.
True, especially Bulbasaur. I feel like I should introduce myself with actually what I do at UK PonyCon, because I don't know, there's so many new people here, they might not know. Someone telling me don't go horse, that's just quite funny. So I'm Bexy, or Bexy Lula, or Midnight Dynasty. I don't know, I've been known by so many names. I am the events lead for UK PonyCon in real life. I'm the co-volunteer lead for UK PonyCon in real life, and also I'm the MC. So I'm used to talking. But for the conline, I've done events and helped be like, yay, we can do it, be the positive like lead on it. So yes, that's me, and this is us. So we are from all over, apart from, well, we've got Manchester versus wherever UK PonyCon decides to go each year, which has just happened to be Nottingham. The past two was going to be past 3, but we will see. So oh no, they're talking about book in the chat. Don't. I never got to go and it makes me really sad. So this is your chance to just talk to different con stuff, experience different cons, because I think no two MLP cons are the same. Like, they're all completely different, and that's what makes each event unique. Like Comic Cons, you literally see the exact same stalls over and over again, whereas pony conventions, you see so much more, and you see so many other different people. There's so many different formats, and it's just like, I think that's been, as much as I've missed MCM and Comic Cons this year, I miss pony conventions so much more. Like, just seeing everyone's faces, because you walk in, you can feel really, really upset, but you walk into any pony convention and you feel just the positivity radiating off everyone. And I'm so glad I managed to go to Heartswarming Con this year. Literally, what was it, like a week before the UK went into lockdown? 2 weeks? It's very close. Very close. Now, we want to hear your questions, but I don't even know if we can hear your questions because I've not been replied to in opening up the questions.
Yeah, you're in the Yona stage questions channel.
Yeah, can you type in the questions? Just Go for it. Type in the questions if we've got it open. If not, I'll have to.
In the channel.
Oh, I accidentally hit the.
It works.
Oh, it's opening. It's opened. This is exciting.
Sweet.
Right. Again, I'm not being rude to my co-hosts as well. I have to read Discord off my phone because I can't do this. Hello. Ask lovely questions. We will answer a lot of questions within reason.
Yep.
Within reason, because we do get asked some things and we're just there like, we can give you this answer, but not this answer.
Yeah, just remember, there's things that are sensitive and private, and obviously, keep that in mind. But there's a lot of stuff, a lot of experiences we've had, and that's the thing I really appreciate about having these panels. It's less about like me as an individual when I'm at these panels. I think it's more about the experience I can share.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really like, not just educational, but maybe, just entertaining. There's so many things that thanks to being allowed to even be on the GalaCon staff, I was just in the right place at the right time. And I tell this story often, but when people ask like, hey, how do you become convention staff? It's like, it was 2012. I happened to be on a German pony fan site at the time. And one of the people on there was like, hey, I'm looking to maybe start this, like maybe like a meetup or something. Do you want to help? But I was like, I guess maybe a little. That's it. That's how it starts. You don't plan for these things. You're just in a place at the right time and maybe have a skill that people need, and it just kind of grows from there. So that's just something I was very, very, lucky. It was something I very cherish. That was just something I was lucky, and I was able to build from that luck. So ask the questions because I like sharing the knowledge that I was allowed to gain, and the experiences and the laughs and the challenges and all those things. And I think everyone else here feels the same, that's just something we like to share because it's not meant to be hoarded, that experience, that knowledge. It's not meant to be kept all secret. It's not all secret. We only keep secret what's actually really private,
Yeah.
Everything else I'm happy to talk about.
Maybe it's important to add that the way you joined the organization team, it may sound like it's been only possible when the fandom was young and people were forming up.
It's not.
And the conventions and events also formed up, but it's also possible today. The same way, you can always come to the group of people who are organizing these kind of events. And if you say, hey, I would like to do this and that, can I join you? Yes, you can do that. And you're almost always successful.
Yeah.
That's how it works. You just show that you want to join and you show some enthusiasm, and you're always welcome because there are never enough people in the organizers' teams.
Never.
We are always short on the,
Yeah, definitely. And we love panelists. Like, even if you can't commit to being on the committee and stuff like that, doing panels is a massive help, and volunteering as well.
Yes.
And there's so much to do. And there's so many, like, you don't realize how much goes into a con. If you're good at something, we probably need help with it somewhere in the con. Like, even if it's that you're just good at giving directions, you can stand at the front door and just direct people. It's like really interesting.
And the thing that I think is good to keep in mind is that the more people are there, the less load the individual has to bear. You have more shoulders to divide it on, it gets easier for everybody. So if you think like, oh, but I don't have to do everything. No, if you have enough people, the team carries everything. So that's why it's always so good if we have more people, because it becomes easier per person. It really does.
Great
more
fun
hands,
as well. Really is great.
Difference.
It really is great fun for everyone as well to actually get involved. And you'd be amazed how many people end up serially volunteering across all the different conventions. Mm-hmm. There's some people out there think, the teams are all related just to one convention and that's it. That's not the case. If you take a look across all our conventions, you'll see people helping across all of them, or some of them, or at least a selection of them. And it's a great way to make friends, and then you can hang out with those friends while volunteering at another convention. It's not all hard work. It's quite a lot of fun and games and helping out.
And I think my closest friends I've made through cons, like not just visiting cons, but actually helping work and organize at the cons and stuff. I said it sappily yesterday, and I'm like, con teams don't feel like just staff. They feel like a family, especially like during that whole weekend, because you depend on everyone so much. Like our moderators on the Discord, they could just keep pinging me going, Bexy, have you eaten? Have you eaten? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we care for each other.
So should we have some questions?
Yeah, there's...
Yep.
Got quite a few loaded.
I would like the first one's favorite MLP con, and like we're all going to be biased.
Yeah.
So, but we all love each other's convention as
Yeah.
well. So I'm just going to answer it for all of us, as we love and they're all a different experience, and I can't pick. But obviously, if I had to pick, I would be biased. So I think we all would. That's the thing, though. We all would, wouldn't we?
I think we can put that question a little bit differently. You know, beside our own convention, which convention do we have the best or longest experience with?
Oh, right.
I mean, for me, unfortunately, I've never been to Czechwestria, so that kind of rules one out. So I'm sorry, Damus. I want to go. Like,
it is good.
GalaCon, I really, really love, and like it's the first. It will always be like really close to me because it's the first time I've actually travelled on a commercial airliner outside of the UK, and it was like my first like proper holiday that wasn't a history trip. You know, like trip abroad. So I really enjoyed it, and I don't know, something about Ludwigsburg is like feeling like I'm at home.
It's
like
a nice city.
Oh, it's amazing. But then Manchester with Griffish Isles, I am home. So I don't get the true con experience too much because you don't get the hotel and stuff. And I find that really nice. Afterwards, you can have the after con. But we were going to get a hotel for GI this time. But I really do like GI as well. I
haven't been.
I just like ponies.
I want to go. I really want to go to Griffish Isles sometime.
What,
and UK PonyCon. I haven't been to. I know. I haven't been to a British pony convention since Buck, so I really need to change that.
Well, you should. I've been to both, and they're awesome.
I believe you. You're the most well-traveled from all of us, probably.
Well, do we
Jamis
know
is a serial traveler.
Do we know a bad
Serious
pony
hiker and
convention?
traveler.
I mean, it's hard to think of any because they're all different, but everyone's there having fun, putting the time and effort in to sort them out. They've all got their own different, angle upon things. But it's hard to think of anyone that's actually being, better than any of the others. I can perhaps think of events we'd like to steal to our conventions. I think we all see events at other events and we try and take them and bring over. But every con has its unique quirks and history. And, I think that's the unique capability of our fandom. We do have a wide range of differing events. And I think it's also that we're all organised by people who love the show. We're not like some other fandoms where it's commercial companies which are organising and running the events for money. None of our events ever make any money. I think we have to keep explaining to people, that these are commercial conventions out there that charge vast sums of money for people to attend. But we all do it because we're fans and we love the show and we plow everything into the events and heart and soul.
The only bad convention I can think of, but that one's kind of legendary for being bad, is obviously Las Pegasus Unicon from 2013. For those of us who remember that disaster, but that was like legitimately a disaster. Everything else I can think of, even conventions that struggled at times, they all were made by people who were passionate, who loved what they were doing. And in a way, even Unicon has its place now in fandom history as being notable for being a disaster. So I guess in that way, it gave us something. So no, you're right. Like everyone does their own thing. Everyone has their own impulses and we all learn from each other. It's something worth cherishing no matter what they do. It's a bunch more questions. Gosh, people have so many questions. I love it.
Jamis, what about you for...
Oh, yeah. Besides events that I organize, I think... Let's say, as I usually say, at every event I've been to, I mean the Pony Convention, I really enjoyed it for usually different reasons, but I all enjoy them because they're all different. They are giving you a different thing. But one non-Czechwestria pony convention that has a special place in my heart is definitely GalaCon, because it was the first one. And seeing, for example, Perry having her first auction, that was something. I met my current girlfriend there, and it was so everything new, so crazy, so amazing. First cosplaying, and yeah. And since then, for me at GalaCon happened so many intense, really, really intense things that, yeah, all over the years, you know, there is a reason why some people call me the serial hugger.
You win a lot of hugs at auctions. That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes, well, it was not intentional. It started as a joke, and then it runs on and on and on, and yeah.
That's kind of good seg. Someone else in the next question asked how we got started at conventions. Didn't Czechwestria kind of start on a joke?
I
love this story.
Yeah, well, in case you didn't hear the story, we've been doing the big meetups in 2013, and it was obvious that the fandom is ready for something bigger. But from a big meetup to a convention, it's a really big step. And we've been like, maybe, yes, no, we do not know. Probably we will do something next year, maybe. And then we met M.A. Larson at Brony Days in 2013 in Paris. And we just mentioned to him this, and he said, we let him sign our flag with the Czech and Slovak Brony logo. And he said, that's Czech Republic and Slovakia. Yes. So where there is going to be a convention in Prague? Well, we are actually planning for something for the next year. And he replied, so I hope you're going to invite me. Sure. Okay. And we just left, and I told to the guy who was there with me, it was Melgar, who's now the Czechwestria vice chair. And I told him, well, you're crazy. Do you realize that now we have to make the convention and invite M.A. Larson, which was like, at that time, that was something unimaginable. But yeah, that's how Czechwestria was actually created.
Like, I've heard that story from you so many times, and it just makes me laugh every single time. Because I think with those of us who have been involved in con, it doesn't just, like, you don't wake up and be like, right, this is going to happen. You just kind of end up getting, like, pulled into it. I volunteered at UK PonyCon before, because UK PonyCon predates Friendship is Magic, and it's quite an old convention. So 2004. So I think I went in 2013, 2014 was my first one. And I was like, I had known no one here, so I'm going to volunteer so I can meet people, because like I knew no one. What's the best way to like meet people, put myself out of my comfort zone, you know? So I have to actually talk to people, or else I'd just be quiet in the back. Ended up running 2 events. Then the next year I was like, should I apply for committee? No, I won't this year. And then I ended up running more events as a volunteer. And then I got told, you should go for committee next year. And I was like, okay. So I applied and I got in. And honestly, like, it's the best volunteer thing I've ever done in my life. Like, and as you say, Perry, you can't imagine life without it now. Like, you just think like, like my living room's just full of the merch store at the moment. And it's like, that's just normal. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
How about you, Hypno? How did GI come about?
You said you've done a lot of convention stuff in the past, so you probably have a long career, as it were, to look back on too.
Indeed, I've run conventions for longer than many of the people listening have been alive. I think is probably the best way of phrasing it. I'm running a money whether I'm the oldest person actually at the convention even here. It's quite possible. Yeah, I've done conventions over a long period of time, and all types of ones, and set up a number of fan ones that have been running. Some of the one of the conventions I set up has had, I think, 26th anniversary this year in the past.
Dang.
But
That's
I have to
awesome. say
say that my pony convention one, it came down pretty much to when I was at book. Someone said at the end of it, well, it's the last book, and if anyone's thinking of organising a convention, don't do a lot of work. And I looked around and went, you can do a small one here. And I thought, well, good idea. And I'll tend off to the other pony conventions. And then I formed a local meeting group. And out that meeting group, I thought, well, yeah, I can organise a convention, got the people, everything else, and got going. And organised the Griffish Isles, which is a smaller convention, generally to bridge a time gap, if you know what I mean, from the convention. So we went for May to avoid clashing, picking the old kind of bookish slot for the last book to avoid the summer of all the events going off to, because I was a serial attender for BronyCon and GalaCon, of course, and except when they clashed on the same dates, which of course was never good, Perry.
I remember.
UK PonyCon and everything else, and also Brony Scott, which is sadly no more. So I've attended those events, but I thought, well, get one organised and fill in a nice slot, and that's what we did, and had a good fun as a result. So that's pretty much how I got into it, and how it kind of more evolved than just sudden decision to actually run something.
Yeah, they just happen.
It's
Like
an impulse.
you
It's
just
a group impulse energy thing, isn't it?
yeah. Can we have another spooky con next year? We will see, is what I'm going to say to that. We don't know. Oh no, here's Lib. What's Lib saying? To what extent do cons thrive on chaos versus perfectly planned order? In my experience, they need both.
I mean, the thing is, even if you plan everything perfectly, there is always going to be chaos. You have so many moving parts. There is literally no way everything will go as planned. It is impossible. Better account for the chaos in some fashion.
Yeah.
It's not the question when, if things go wrong, but when.
Yes.
And it's the job of the organizers to, smooth the things or fix the things on the fly. You just have to count on it that this is going to happen and deal with those on the fly. Sometimes better, sometimes it's not so perfect. But as long as attendees have fun, you did a good job.
Yeah.
I think people understand things go wrong. I think that's the key thing about it. But chaos happens all the time, and we always have someone on the committee or someone in the helper who adds to chaos, like someone actually on our desk, for example, forgetting to note down what merch they've handed out to people, record it down the sheet for the audit stuff.
Aww.
These things always happen, but you're always able to sort them out usually. People are understanding, they know the situation. And if the wrong person gets the wrong thing, we're in a community which will generally, you put the appeal out and you get it back. It's literally that case. It's there's very few issues, if you know what I mean, because everyone is there to have friendship and fun. So I think we could kind of like thrive on chaos. So when stuff goes wrong, we cater, and it makes it interesting as an organizer as well. You know what I mean, handling things. Even if you do see sometimes the odd stressed organizer running around with a clipboard on the day.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you can, like for us, just for even doing this online event, like things have gone wrong. Like I can speak about it because we've had to put it out. Our lanyards just haven't shown up. And we were like, we can either hold back all the merch and people are going to be sad, because the reason we launched a merch store early is so people can get their merchandise before the con. Wear at con. Thanks, Hypno. So
T-shirt. Buy yours now from the con store for UK PonyCon.
That looks great.
So we really wanted like people to be able to get their merch for the convention. So like as you would really, you'd wear your T-shirt, you wear your lanyard, and then our lanyards just haven't appeared. So we were like, right, we're going to post everything we've got out now, and then we'll post lanyards at a later date. And people are so accepting by it. But also, like, I think a lot of people now recognise that we're all volunteers. We don't get paid for this. This is just all on our own time. And then earlier today, mine and Maz, is good old Virgin Media, decided to just not work. And people weren't going, because it cut me off right at the end. And people weren't like angry or getting mad. They were just going F. And it's like, great, you know, that's the stuff we need, and that's stuff that carries us on. But like, I've never seen Maz run so fast in his life. Then when that happened, it's like, whoop.
I think
sometimes.
So go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to say that sometimes it also helps even to a psychic state of the organizer. Do not take those mistakes too seriously. Like when something happens, of course, you have to fix it, but it's not something that will pull the whole event down. And I think one of my strategies how to deal with it is like make a joke from it. Like, okay, now you all see me or others fail, so let's laugh about it and let's move on.
Roll with the punches, yes.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the magic is that, not like you said, people are very accepting, and that's awesome. You really know you have a friendly audience that thinks, hey, you're doing your best, you know. I mean, with anything you do, there's always going to be a few people who are very cynical and negative, but that's so few. You don't even really think about it. And that's important, you know, you don't worry about that. It's not worth it, usually. You know, you just do your best, you take the sincere criticism to heart, but, you know, the people who don't care, like, whatever. The thing that to me is a big kind of the magic, though, it's kind of like almost like a stage play, like theater. There's always something going wrong behind the scenes, but most of the time people won't notice it. It's fine. They don't notice it. It's not impacting their fun. Like you said, if people are still having a good time, it's okay if, you know, behind the curtain, if some things are on fire, it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. You know, as long as you're keeping it going, as long as you can, you know, just kind of keep it running in some way, it's okay. It'll happen. It's okay. People are having a good time. That's what matters at the end of the day.
One of my favorite times was it was either the open or close that was running late, and I was like, right, let's just sing along, let's just sing a song. Leeds, I when I was an events assistant, everything was backed up and we were waiting for like the awards and stuff, and I was like, right, I'm just going to go out there, there's no music, but I'm just going to make a massive idiot of myself and start a sing-along. So we started a sing-along, and loads of people afterwards were like, that was a really fun part, and they didn't realize that it wasn't part of the closing ceremony, and I was like, yes, we like that.
In general, pony fans are so good at making their own fun. You just give them, you just throw them a bone and they make a whole meal out of it. You just go for it, you know, just a little bit impulse, and there's fun. There's just fun. It's instant. It's amazing. I love that so much. That's an energy that is so good.
Definitely. Let's have a next question. What would you say is one of the unique flair / feeling / theme that sums up the con that it says you were a part of, but we're all a part of still. Yeah, we're keeping going. So what is, let's go with Griffish Isles uniqueness?
I think the uniqueness of Griffish Isles is designed to be kind of like a contained bit of party with pony. I think its attitude is really to get people together and to socialize. So I think that's probably the theme that we are driven by. We're not driven by just pure the show, and we're not driven by collecting of merch, which might be some of the previous drivers, some of the other conventions. We're more around driving out that from a social angle. So I think that's probably the main unique theme of Griffish Isles, really, is to get people together and to socialize.
Who wants to go next?
You.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the uniqueness for Czechvestria, there are a few things. We rely on the same things as Hypno said. It's more socializing of the people. It's not that dense program or super guests, but for example, the whole Friday, because Czechoslovakia is 3-day event, and on Friday we do have a LARP event that goes through the city of Prague. And it's also another thing for attendees that allows them to socialize in a small groups and experience not just the convention and the ponies, but also the city with the My Little Pony themed story. So they're playing ponies in the humans world, and I think that's pretty unique thing. And also, yeah, as you said before, socializing, more socializing, less of the serious program. So we, for example, leave some gaps in the schedule so people can actually talk to each other, go to the bar, go to the music games, go to the workshops, or go out to the park and sit down and talk. So enjoying the time together with the ponies and bronies around.
I think with PonyCon, I think UK PC has like dipped its toes into so many different areas. I think we're embracing the love of basically, if you like any form of pastel pony, you've got a home here. It's bringing collectors and bronies together and providing support and just radiating the positivity that is. Like, we do have like a lot of events, and like if you want to learn how to do something, we're probably going to have like an event on it. We don't have the big guests, but we just, I don't know, we're bringing the community together. That's like, I love that, and you can talk to just anyone. So
especially with that cross-generational appeal, I think that's quite unique even to Europe for a convention, I think.
What about GalaCon?
The other thing with GalaCon is that I probably name first and foremost that it's kind of like the European convention. That wasn't obviously not originally planned. You don't just plan, oh yeah, we'll become the biggest convention. No, you don't sit down and just do that. It doesn't work that way. But the first GalaCon, we already figured, okay, we're very central in Europe, and you know, the German fans all watch the show in English too. You know, some of the subtitles maybe, but basically everyone watches it in English. So before, from the get-go, we want to gear this a bit more internationally, because there will be people who don't speak German. But we didn't plan that kind of approach would mean we would become really, in terms of size, obviously, just in terms of size, not in terms of importance, the European convention. So that just kind of, I think, is the key point. It's kind of like the knot in the middle. You get all these beautiful things that all do their own thing, and they all have their unique takes that I absolutely adore. The thing that GalaCon just does, GalaCon is kind of a summary that, you know, if there's a convention where you're like, hey, I want it to be like accessible for my language. I want it to be something that has a bit of everything, with the guests, with the panels, with the dances, whatever. GalaCon is kind of just like, we have a bit of everything. We can't focus on just one thing completely, because again, it's a big thing, and we only have 2 days worth of time. So I think the small conventions are amazing for focusing on more specific things, for having a bit more like a slower pace. And GalaCon can kind of be like, if you just want the whole bag and you want to learn what you love the most later, that's what you get. You get because that kind of the knot in the middle. From there, everything else spreads out and does its own thing, and so everything complements each other. That's what I think the unique part is.
I think we're all very bad at spotting what are the unique things about our conventions, because I would have said for GalaCon and turned on that one. You've got the PlushyCon, which is unique in terms of size and capability.
Awesome.
And
But
you've also got the awesome auction, which has a certain auctioneer who runs it, which is delivered to a different scale, and it's a full major event. Well, at other events, it's sometimes just like a tag on. So I think we're often bad at spotting what's unique of the other conventions. I think we're better answering the question about everyone else than we are our own ones on
it's
that.
A different perspective. I mean, you have the perspective from behind the scenes, and then the others have the perspective from in front of the scenes, how it actually resonates with the audience. So those are two very different things. But you're right. Also, thanks for the praise. I appreciate that.
The next question is about worst experience running a con. Like, I'm going to be quite honest, and I'm not going to like go into it, but there are highs and there are lows. Like there can be times, but as we've said before, your staff becomes a family, and if one of you's feeling down, you get picked right back up by everyone else. Go, no, you can do it. This is good, and you help turn like in the teams, you turn the negatives into positives, and so yeah, like I can't really think of a bad time, like the worst time or worst thing, just purely because everything gets turned around. If that makes any sense?
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
As Perry was saying, it takes the team to support each other, and yes.
Worst experience. I think there's definitely moments where I look back and I'm like, woof, that was rough, but honestly, I know maybe this is a bit of a cop-out, but I'll just say basically anytime I didn't look out for myself, I didn't take like my team or myself seriously enough, that's usually a bad time. Because like Bexy just said, you do need the whole team, and the team needs to be able to look out for each other. And there's definitely times where I was like, oh, I don't need to eat. And oh, guess what? And Perry's close to a sugar crash. Bad. That's bad. Don't do that. That sort of thing. Or like a time where it's like, oh, I just buried myself in work and I didn't ask people to help me when I really should have, like the whole apple bug season lesson all over again. It's like, no, I can do it by myself. And then you completely burn out and nobody's happy. You didn't do the work right because you took on too much, and people don't want you to suffer. It's honestly, those are always the worst times when you don't look out for yourself. So no matter how enthusiastic you are, no matter how much you absolutely love what you do, and it's important to love it, take breaks, ask for help. Don't think, no, I'm too proud. Or, No. Everything that you make will be better if you look out for yourself, like you stay hydrate, you look out for yourself, you eat enough, you sleep enough, you just make sure, hey, I can divide my work with the people who can help me or who can give me a fresh impulse. I've definitely had times where I get buried so much in my thoughts where I miss the forest for the trees. You don't want that. So generally speaking, always look out for yourself and your teammates, because that makes the whole everything stronger, always.
Well, I might as well go on with my worst one. I'll stick to PonyCons because I think some people know about some of the other ones I've had which I'll probably write up someday once I get permission to be able to publish it all. But it's quite
the tell-all book.
Oh yes, it certainly would be. Let's just say the fact that I have ordered people around who you wouldn't normally think could be ordered around. That's all I'm going to say. And all I'm going to say that PonyCon, actually, believe it or not, was last year at Griffish Isles. At one point, my security guard didn't turn up, and I started to manage it off. And some people may be unaware, I put back a cancer operation in order to carry on running Griffish Isles because I was due to be brought in that weekend. And I was worn out as well. So that was probably my worst point there. And I wasn't thinking straight because I was trying to do it myself rather than actually get someone else, if you know what I mean, to step forward. I forgot the golden rule that people are there to help and are kind and everything else. Don't always take it on board yourself and try and do everything. So I think that was my worst time, if you know what I mean, at the event. But just for an hour or two.
I think for me there were two events that were pretty bad. One was when it was the night before the convention, before Czechwestria started, and it was 2015, and I got an email from our guest that was invited, and she said, "I'm sorry, I cannot attend tomorrow because my father died today, and please do not tell anyone because the public press will get the information on Monday, and we want to have the weekend for ourselves to calm down and not being bothered by the reporters and these kind of people." So that was pretty hard, hearing something like this. And when people were asked why the guest did not come, and you said the guest will be there, sorry, it's not possible, you will find out on Monday. That was one thing. And the second thing was right before the very first Czechwesteria, because one of the core team members of the organization team was in pretty bad psychic shape, but he did not tell anyone. And like few weeks before we found out that all the tasks he should have performed, he did not. So we found out that we have no con guides, we have no tickets, we had nothing. And everything had to be done really fast by other members of the team. So from there, I think we have the experience that, please, if something goes wrong, let us know, at least inside the team, because nobody is going to be mean at you or shout at you or anything, but we need to know that something is wrong so we can fix it. Finding out on the stage that you don't have something, that's really bad.
I think all answers all kind of have this theme, don't they? Theme of make sure you talk to your team and look out for yourself.
Exactly.
Look out for yourself.
They care, like, people care more than you think as well, and more than you expect. Like, it's amazing. Now G5 will be there next year. Do you perhaps go on or pass the job to young ones? And if to young ones, perhaps help them become a good organizer? I would say I'm still young.
New organizers, not that we're old.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like quickly talk from, because I think mine's going to be completely different, like relatively different to you guys. The PonyCon committee is made up of so many different collectors. We've got G1 collectors, we've got Every Pony collectors, we've got Bronies, we've got G3, a massive fan of G3.5 that it's quite scary as well. So we've got such a different variety of people that love ponies, and we would, when G5 comes out, we'd love to embrace more on, because it's more knowledge, it's more of adding to like ourselves and stuff, and we just embrace people, really. If you want to help with events, go for it, volunteer, see what it's like, and just trust your instincts. As we said before, just go for it and you won't regret it. And I just can't imagine not being a part of a pony convention, of UKPC. Like 100%, and it's been the best thing I've done. Like, honestly, it's been the best thing I've done. So I will pass over to someone else to answer.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right. I always talk too much. You go.
Well, they say the same thing about me.
And you talk too much first, and I can go later.
All right. The Czechwesteria is organized by the Czech and Slovak Brony Association, and one of the goals the association has, and also the convention has, is to educate people in the teamwork, and allow them to try, for example, manage the small teams, and these kind of things. So if the question is if we perhaps help the younger ones become good organizers, I would say we are already doing that. It's one of the goals. We are not going to be here forever. That's one thing. And the second thing is that this is the perfect place where to learn how to work in a team. Like really, compared to the big companies or any other place where you can learn this skill, this is relatively low risk. You cannot do much of the damage, and if you do, the impact is not so super huge. And there is always somebody behind you or checking on your work and saying, hey, this is not the best way, please do it this way, here's the guide and everything. So And if more young organizers want to join, if there are such a people, please do.
Yes.
Please do.
Volunteers, organizers,
Yes.
meet them all.
Yeah, please join in. I've handed on the baton before for other types of conventions, and let me assure you, the existing committees, the existing people who run the conventions, they are not the control freaks who want to be in charge of everything forever that you may think. They enjoy running their party as they may see it, but we all know it's tiring. We all know it's a great deal of work to put in. And we really enjoy attending everyone else's parties is the best way of putting it, because we really love going and attending all the other conventions out there. But one thing we can do is teach people how to do it and how to run. So tag on to a convention, approach them, engage off with them. And yes, you will find an open door to teach you and help you train it. Some people think that they might be entering in and they want to launch their own convention, and the other conventions might think they're rivals. Well, hopefully this panel should give you a clue. Can you detect any rivalry between the conventions here? You're not going to find it. We're all here helping each other out. We'll involve ourselves in each other's conventions. If they want a presenter or whatever, we reach out, we talk to each other. Yeah, we'll try to do our best to help on out. So you've got an open, friendly area to learn from. As just Jamie says, it's not like in the commercial world where you might have competition and large sums of money that's riding on you. Here you've got a group of friends, group of people engaged off, and you can learn the skills, and it can be skills that you can apply in the commercial arena as well. There are people who've got jobs post using their experience of running pony conventions.
I work in events now.
Yeah,
because
there
of
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
It's a genuine skill. It really is. Like Jamie said, it's a great place to actually try yourself, discover new talents. Do you think? I was like, yeah, one day I just got up in the morning, was like, yeah, you know what? I should host auctions. That is totally what I'm gonna do. No. The only reason I did it was at GalaCon in 2012 was because the person who was supposed to do it was sadly sick. I think she had injured herself, and I was told, "Hey, Barry, you're the person with the good English. Go do it now." I'm like, what? I was horrible at it too. I was completely nervous. I constantly had to run to the bathroom in the middle of the auction. Great stuff. I was just literally completely crashing and burning, but people had a good time. And I discovered, despite all the fumbling, I enjoyed myself a lot, a huge amount. And so I said, hey, if you'll have me do it again, I'll do it again. And this time I'm actually prepared. And I did. And I've done it at many different conventions all over Europe now. I've done it PonyFest, like completely online this year, twice. And it's like, that was new to me too, but people enjoyed it. It's the sort of thing I had no idea I would be good at this sort of thing. And now I think, if I can become a professional like host of some sort, those are people that exist, I would do it. I would absolutely do it, because it's a skill that I discovered just through all this stuff. It's something where I really encourage people, volunteer. You don't have to immediately do everything by yourself, not just from 0 to 100. Oh, yeah, I'm immediately going to do my own convention, but it's good to volunteer, or it's good to host a meetup and see, hey, there's the enthusiasm. Here are some people I can talk to who have skills. We can build from there. We can make it happen together. We can ask for advice. We can learn things. You learn so much if you volunteer at a different convention or you talk to them. Seriously, there's G5 is literally no reason for any of us to stop. We'll stop when we feel like it. At some point you say, maybe it's enough. Again, I was staff at GalaCon for 3 years, and after that I could tell my energy wasn't quite there for it anymore, but it doesn't mean that I was having resentment or anything. It was really just, I think now it's good someone else does it. But the hosting, I could tell it was giving me so much joy, I couldn't stop if I tried. Again, like I said, if they try to get rid of me, it'll be a bit of a challenge. I'll probably be glued to the microphone to some degree. No, it's just something that really gives me so much joy, so much life. And that's something I only discovered through conventions. So volunteer, try things out. You never know what you discover about yourself, your skills, your passions. Do it. G5 is no reason to stop, but if you feel inspired to put something together locally, small or big, do it. Go for it. Talk to the people. Make it happen.
Yeah, and don't think too much that you are not worth it or you are not so good. It means, well, you may not be, but that means yet. You're one of the reasons why you do or why you are willing to learn is that you want to know more and you want to be more experienced. And yeah, mistakes happens, and everyone in the organization team actually is aware of this thing. So it's expected that mistakes happens even with the people.
And just looking at the time, we should make sure we get to those other questions too.
I know, I'm just
There's
seeing
so
like
much to say.
Maz, if you could turn off questions if you're listening. Lib, have I eaten? Yes, I have. Maz threw some food at me. Next year, PonyCon Holland, completely new crew and new setup. Are you excited to go? And if go, what tips might be helpful for them? So last time we did this over UK PonyCONLINE, we did actually have PonyCon Holland join us, but unfortunately they were busy this time. I really, really want to go, but my friend's wedding, who got postponed to next year, is on the same weekend.
Oh.
So, but it's only on the Saturday, and I'm like, they're really, really near like an airport, and the airports have flights to Amsterdam, and then I can just travel. So I might go for just the Sunday. And they know they can talk to us whenever. Like, we've given them a bit of advice with like merchandise and stuff. And that's the thing, we're not gatekeepers. Like, none of us are. We will help each other out with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for them. I'm obviously, if they want some auction help, you know, get down, because I love the spotlight. I'm literally not denying it. Like, oh, Perry, you're such an attention hog. And I'm like, yeah. Well, no, but if they want that, I will give them advice. I will help them out any way I can, even if they don't want me to auction personally, which is completely fine. I mean that. All the jokes aside, I do mean that. But seriously, I'm really excited for them. I really enjoyed Hearthwarming Con. I was there twice. It was a really good time both times. I know these are new people doing it, but I fully believe they will carry on the torch very, very admirably. And if they need help with anything, there's all these people they can ask and should absolutely ask.
Yep.
I think the key advice we're giving them is reach out and ask, and you get a friendly response, and people will step forward and will help you. And and I'm always excited for new pony conventions to get up and running, because you know, we all enjoy them so much.
Yeah, we are looking forward to go there.
I'm close. I live close to the Netherlands. It's easy to go, so do it. Just do it.
It's only a 30-minute flight from where I live. It's quicker for me to get to the Netherlands than it is to Nottingham.
Yeah, that's how it can go.
By the way, I'm not sure if PonyCon Holland is completely new crew. It's not people who does not know how to do their job. I think
they've had meetups.
They had meetups, and I think few of them were also part of the Heartwarming Con organization team. So it's not they're not newbies, to say.
Oh no,
that.
They're not newbies.
Because there are some little bit of prejudice sometimes when you go to the convention that happens for the first time, that it could be not something nice and they may screw it up. Well, I would say you don't have to be afraid in this.
No, I know it's not sorry if I said that wrong. I didn't mean it was like a completely new team, but like in this constellation, it's put together new.
Yep,
so new impulses, but definitely people have had the experience, like Bronies NL. They've done like meetups for many years. I've seen their logo like 5 years ago or something. Like, they've been around. I think they know what they're doing.
Right, we've got 3 questions and then we've done them. So can we have some quick fire, like 3 quick fires? Come on, let's do it. Do you think there'll be an online offering after in real life cons are back on? I'm going to say it really depends, because this takes a lot out of you organising an online con. You don't think it does, but it really does. Like myself, Jamis and Perry were also involved with Ponyfest as well. And that, like, you have meetings and it's the exact same demand as an in real life convention. So
in many ways, it's a completely new challenge, because you need to arrange different things and the resources management
and adapt.
Everything. And in Ponyfest online case, it's also the case that, you know, it's for everyone all over the world. So you have to think of the time zones, for example.
But we've got people from all over in our server, people in America were like, I'm not going to sleep because I'm going to go on the UK time so I can watch it. And we just are like, oh. But the Discord servers are going to live on.
Oh, yeah.
So you can still talk on Discord. We still hold likes and socials. And it doesn't mean that we can't drop off a few events anyway.
Yes, like just a quick like throw in for like the online stuff. And for instance, GalaCon had an online version in August. We're going to have an Everfree Encore Online, which is, a sister event, a GalaCon sister event, the music event. We have a website for that. I'll put that in the chat in a second, just so people can look. There's not too much yet, but there will be announcements extremely soon. So anyone who wants some good music goodness coming to their home, there's a little something planned. It's going to be really, really fun. But I think, like in terms of PonyFest, for instance, we've slowed down our events a little bit because, the world situation is changing all the time. But we noticed people, there were so many awesome online events happening. And everyone was so enthusiastic about making sure people had stuff to do. It also meant that the individual cons were struggling a bit more with getting the exact same enthusiasm. That's completely okay. We were a response, like PonyFest was made as a response to a crisis situation, people having to be inside, locked down, and not being able to go out. So it's completely fine that the needs change. That's really not a problem. But I do think PonyFest is going to stick around for a while. But the format is going to keep changing. We're going to keep adjusting it. It's such a new field. Until this year, I had literally zero thoughts about online conventions. I thought like that's not a thing. Now it is a big thing.
Yeah.
That's how life can change. So to me, I think it will stick around, in my opinion. But like you said, it is a lot of work. It is new work. Some of the challenges are completely unique. And I think that will mean things will change as the world keeps changing. But as long as people want these things to keep happening, I think some shape of them can happen. But keep in mind, once we go back to physical conventions, running both of these things is going to be tricky. That's why I think PonyFest is a good support of the rest of the fandom's connections, because it can fill a niche that other conventions can't always stretch themselves too thin to do. So just saying that that's something that I hope can work, that there's a more complementing each other of different events, different ideas, even once we can hopefully all see each other in person again.
Yeah.
Favorite con mascot of any PonyCon, not your own. Mine's really. I'm really sorry, you two, but I really, really love Bobby.
Bobby is a cute griffin.
Just the fact that Bobby's a griffin, Bobby's called Bobby. Like the only chance I think a mascot's gonna overstep being my favorite is if it's a Kirin.
That is really.
They're just so fluffy.
Everyone loves Kirins. Everyone loves Kirins.
Definitely. But I just when I saw Bobby, I was like, wow, that's just completely outside the box. Completely. It's not a pony, but it's still related to ponies. And I just love Bobby. What's everyone else's?
That's really hard because there's so many really, really cute ones. I mean, obviously I like Canny, but not our own. Everyone has such good mascots. I'm not saying as a cop, I mean that. It's tough to pick. If I just pick a spontaneous favorite, I am a little bit biased towards Libusha, not just because I voice her, but it helps. She is great. I love her, but she's really pretty, really elegant pony. It looks a little bit has a little bit of the same color scheme as Sunset Shimmer, a little bit, the hair, which is really good. Sunset Shimmer is a great pony and a great person. She's both, so hey. I also really like this. This is a convention that hasn't happened literally in years. But if anyone remembers Crystal Fair from Finland, their mascot was extremely pretty. She's like this really gorgeous blue crystalline pony, super cute. But everyone has amazing mascots. I could sit here for an hour talk about pretty mascots. So
yeah, mascots are really fun. Especially when you see, for example, the videos with them, and if they have a voice actors that gives them their own personality. It's hard to pick one, and let's say if not for Libusha or any other mascot in the Czech Republic, I think I really liked Unity. The mascot of the Brony Fair in Berlin.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's really nice. She's really well made, and I still do have some friends with the plushies carrying her all around. So I meet her regularly.
Little patches in her fur are so cute.
And I think even back then somebody tried to ship her with Miss Libusha.
Ah.
For myself, actually, I'm going to say I've never been there, but the one that's always interests me the most is Japan's PonyCon's mascot, PonyCo, which I think, see in the background of Jamis's screen there, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
yes, that's
He has a
true.
PonyCon.
Yeah, she's there. Here.
Yeah, that's the one I liked the most because I thought it was nice and clean and lines, etc. for that, and with an interesting cutie mark, I've got to say. So I thought that was, an interesting take upon it. So, but I think I always like the singular mascots rather than the team mascots. I know the USA cons tend to go for teams of them. I always like it when there's one that represents the spirit of the convention.
Last but not least, we are going to overrun by a little bit, but it's fine. I gave us a 15-minute break in between each one. To what degree do you think messages in the show contribute to people's willingness to organise and contribute events? We don't tend to see such effort from other fandoms. I agree. Like, you've not seen many online ones elsewhere.
Yeah. There are two things I think about that. It's definitely the messages. Like, look, there's just so much in the spirit of friendship, cooperation, solidarity. There's a lot of messages. I think it's really good, even if you think, oh, I've watched this show so often, I know everything already, like, oh, I get it all. Seriously, there's always going to be another message where you're like, maybe in that moment you need to hear that again. Like, care for yourself, or be open-minded, or there's a whole world out there for you to learn from. All these like really good messages that I really appreciate about the show, where it's like, even if you think, I get it, it's good to get reminders sometimes, because that's everyone's like that sometimes. And I think we all benefit a lot from the spirit of the show. I think the other problem other fandoms also run into, and this is an area where I will be at just a tiny bit. I'm not a big fan of everything Hasbro does, but I will be a tiny little bit nice about Hasbro right now, which is, I think, is fair. People need to realize, to be fair, Hasbro is still a mega corporation. It obviously wants to sell toys to us, of course. But when you compare them to the likes of Disney, for instance, people really wanted to make a Gravity Falls convention back when Gravity Falls was super big. They couldn't do it. Disney doesn't allow it. Just flat out, no, you can't do it. The fact that Hasbro has said, you know what, we don't always understand you, but we'll let you do it, you weird bronies, we'll let you do the thing. That is sadly unusually nice. Most companies will not let fans have this much free reign with their IPs and franchises and whatnot, because you're to have too much of a stranglehold on what they think it should be shown from their fans, about their fans, to their fans. And that's one area where I'll say we have to be a little bit fair to Hasbro, the fact that they just said, nah, okay, fine, we'll let you do this stuff. They very rarely step in, unlike Disney or Nintendo or other organizations that say, we're glad you like our stuff, but we're going to still make sure you only listen to what we give you. Well, again, Hasbro has let us do so much stuff over the years, and they just kind of say, okay. I'm kind of glad about that. I remember Galacon in its first few years, we had sort of a contact to Hasbro Germany, but basically all they said is just, hey, just make sure people are generally decently behaved at these things, and that's all we care about. Just make it fun and fine, it's cool. That's really all it boiled down to. They didn't brief down our necks and said, oh, you have to do this and that and can't do this and that. No, they just said, keep it fun and it's good. And I'm kind of grateful for that. It could have been so much worse. So yeah, we ran over, sorry. It's just worth to keep in mind.
Yeah, there are so many things to say. Yeah. I think the messages of the show contributed a lot, because it was the message of the show that actually brought us together. And because we embrace the show and everything around, we actually want to share this unique experience with others. And we want to let others experience all those nice things we experience ourselves. And for me, for example, that was the main impulse why I actually start with the meetups and then with the conventions, because you want to share these things. And when you organize such an event, you allow really wide spectrum of people to actually share this. And sharing the good things is something that let's say add to this whole fandom the whole new level. So you're not enjoying the show just for the show, but because you actually can share it with others, which, well, yeah, you probably got it. I'm sorry. I don't want to go too much deep into it because we are running out of time.
But you're right. You should say it.
Go on, Hypno. Any last words?
All I'm going to say is, yes, friendship is magic for those in the fourth generation, anyway, at least. And yeah, I believe the attitude of the show has contributed to the people a part of it. It's a friendly group of people, and friendship is part of it, and therefore friends help each other. And people who help are often willing to do things for other people. Hence the reason why it does help with the running of events.
Yeah. Well, I think we have run over time. Definitely, but
Sorry.
thank you. No, it to be quite honest, it's another event that I'm running next time, so I just get to stay here. I'll probably get a drink though.
Yes,
but
please.
thank you. I will. Thank you everyone for watching, and also thank you to my lovely co-hosts who've given up their time to join me and talk really
Thank you so much for having
nice
us.
con stuff.
Yep.
Oh, I'm glad.
Thanks so
I'm
much
really
for
glad.
inviting us.
It's always a huge pleasure to be here. So thank you all for everyone who joined us, and thank you so much, Bexy, for having us.
Oh, no worries. Well, hopefully I can see you all next year.
Please, yes,
Cool.
please.
Hopefully.
Of course.
And thank you. I'm going to wave. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.